Thank you. So, when I asked Ollie for a keyboard, does anyone else wonder why that's here all day? I don't know. I did actually mean for my computer. So, there we go. So, as it says up there, and actually up there, which I only found out about half an hour ago, my name's Mike Goldsmith. I'm Editorial Director and Head of Product for Beano Studios. What does Beano Studios mean? I'm going to tell you that in a second. What I'm going to talk to you about is putting the audience first, especially when you don't know who they are. But first off, a video. Go on, you're going to play?
Yeah, please bring up your illusion cake.
I think what you produced there is a work of art. I love the way you've used the Rice Krispies, and then the eggs look incredible. I'm dying to see what it looks like inside.
Oh, there you go.
Look at that.
Wowzers.
That's excellent there.
I want some with the chocolate in.
Your sponge is spot on. I love the colour you got inside.
Your brain is telling you one thing and your taste buds telling you another. I think it's got good banana flavour.
That design is incredible.
Thank you and good night. I'm off. There you go. So, that's great. There was another one about FIFA, but I thought we're cutting it a little bit short. Now, that's great, but why is this big bloke from the Beano talking about Bake Off and rather than Dennis the Menace or Banana Man? So, I'll get to that, I promise. But first of all, we're going to meet some people. So this person is Camilla. Now, Camilla is 9 and she's in year 5. She's got a Nintendo DS and, parents wait for this one, she has her own App Store password despite that 13+ barrier and need for payment. She loves Little Mix, she loves Ariana Grande, she's influenced by her older brothers and sisters, she collects Smiggle backpacks and she's starting to get into clothes, so she's probably going to be in Primark around the corner very soon. As might Sam be. Now, Sam is 7 and he's in year 3. He adores Star Wars. He has the coolest bedroom, if you can see it up there. It's absolutely amazing. And he loves making Lego creations. Basically, he pays James's Christmas bonus. Now, nearly all of Sam's screen time is on YouTube and not TV, as we understand it. And his heroes are his dad, Dan DTM, and Ed Sheeran. And finally, this is Alfie. Alfie is 9 and he's in year 4. He loves football, his PlayStation 4, and his iPhone 5S, which he got from his mum. Now, mum and dad manage Alfie's screen time a lot, but he still watches Netflix and YouTube, as well as shows like I'm a Celebrity with his parents. Now, these are our Beano trend spotters, and there is a hell of a lot more of them. Now, the Beano trend spotters are an ever-changing group of primary school children from a wide selection of schools and areas. We ask them about what they love, what they hate, what they play, what they listen to, and what they watch. We change members as children move on to high school in year 7, and they're replaced, ensuring that we have fresh voices and fresh opinions. The Beano Trend Spotters are our direct lines into kids' lives at home, at school, and at play. Now, we know they like Dennis the Menace. We know they like Minnie the Minx, and we know they like the Bash Street Kids. Who doesn't? But how do we discover what else they like? Should we be covering Minecraft and not FIFA? Should we be actually covering Strictly and not Bake Off? Should we be, whisper it, covering Roblox instead of Lego? Or actually, should we not be covering all of those at all? So, here in the audience, I can barely see, I'm being blinded by that light. Hands up here, who knows what a fidget spinner is? Well done, loser. Right. In this term, they are dead. Them, slime's still there, fidget spinners, kids don't care. Kids going into year 5 and year 6, they do not care. And as editorial director, I need to know that before anyone else in this room. Now, the results from the Beano Trend Spotters are fed to the whole of Beano Studios, whatever their job. Head of finance, head of marketing, it doesn't matter, it's fed to them. The company can ask specific questions when appropriate. Results are given out by a MailChimp newsletter to the whole company, and posters like this are splattered all over our offices wherever you go. It's also not just the trend spotters. It's backed up by a calendar of constant school visits, paid research, youth TGI, online testing, and, last but not least, web analytics from our own Beano.com and the accompanying app. And that's where you'd expect us to get to, right? Beano.com, that's where all of the great data is going to be. So why so much qual instead of quant? There's a couple of reasons. Now, one reason is no one's really tried to do what we're doing now, but before that, the real big reason is we've only just started. So a little quick introduction to Beano Studios. Now, Beano Studios, why am I here, right? It's an 80-year-old startup. Beano launched in 1938, and DC Thompson, which owns the Beano, was founded in 1905. But Beano Studios is 1 year and 3 days old as of today. We're now 50 people, and we're based on Fleet Street in DC Thompson's old building. We are the last media owner on Fleet Street, and we have a bloody big Beano flag flying outside quite proudly, which feels very good in a world of lawyers. And our mission is the transformation of a heritage brand to the modern multi-channel landscape. So there are two parts to the Beano Studios business. There's number one, a digital network, that's web, app, and the various platforms that you can see behind me. And number two, an IP business. So we have our traditional publishing with comics, that annual that everyone buys still, and books, CP, so character products, and also content studio, that's TV and film, again, which I'm going to talk to you about later. Now, how are we transforming? It's bottling that 80-year-old Beano spirit, the magic of those last 80 years, and applying them to 2017. So that the three things for us is everyday rebellion, popping pomposity, right? Big laughs, fun, frivolous, and unlimited imagination. So championing creativity with our users, whether that's lateral or original. And to do this, we must obsess about our audience. Now that's great. Now we've got a legacy that we can leverage. We have 75% brand awareness, 80% trust with parents. You kill for those stats, right? Love for those characters. Fantastic dinner last night. I couldn't move for people asking me about Dennis the Menace. Maybe the red and black stripy jumper, but who knew? The love for the comic. 27 million people in the UK have read the Beano, and a copy is still bought every 17 seconds. It's a great print business, 34,000 ABC, half of those are subscribers. Fantastic, right? But we cannot rely on old readers and nostalgia. And today's kids have a 3-year field of reference. We just did an article to accompany that video about Noel Fielding from Bake Off, right? No kid knows who this bloke is. They've no idea what the Mighty Boosh is. How do you write an article like that? You just say, who's this weird neon scarecrow on your screen, making jokes about cakes, right? So, we want to know about our audience, and there they are, aren't they lovely? And while we are a startup, it's great. We've got Google Analytics, and we've got Chartbeat and Parsley and all the other things that you would have as a publishing firm to discover what your users are doing. Wrong. We've got that. We can't get the data. Beano.com is aimed at a 6 to 12-year-old kids' audience, and we are a proudly COPPA-compliant site. Now I'm going to read something out here. So COPPA is the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act of 1998. And it's a federal law designed to help parents remain in control of what personal information websites and other online services can collect from young children. Translated, it's the US, and it still applies to us, but it's the US equivalent of GDPR that Rachel mentioned in one of the first sessions of the day. Translated again, it means that we cannot get the quant data that a business normally relies on. COPPA means that we cannot track our users and ask for data such as their full name, their physical address, their email address, GPS location, device ID. Can't find out what they're on. Oh my God. Audio, video, photos of the child, and cookies that allow us to identify the user across sites, i.e. remarketing cookies. We cannot use those. We can track them in a session, but not much beyond that. Now that should have any devs or analytics or data people in the audience with a cold shiver up their backs. What it also means is, COPPA means we can't ask children to share content on social media because social media is aimed at a 13+ audience. Yes, some children are on social media, despite the sign-up being 13+, but we can't target them directly. And this makes marketing, let's say, a challenge, right? And if all that wasn't bad enough, they're bloody kids. Our users are kids, and kids change their mind, what they're into every 5 seconds. Everyone's got a kid who started a judo class, and next week that suit's in the cupboard next to the Bart Simpson skateboard, right? So that's why we do Trend Spotters, and that's why we at Beano Studios are obsessed with data and our audience. Our under 13-year-old audience, our startup nature, and copper means that we have to go above and beyond to make sure we understand our users. We can't just rely on a GA dashboard that we open up every morning. It's not good enough. And that's why I think we have a unique insight at our fingertips about a new screen-focused generation that is quite widely unknown in the publishing business. So what do we know about them? We know a few things. We know family is really important. Watching the TV set is often seen as a family activity, and children rarely watch alone. That means Bake Off, that means X Factor, that's Simon Cowell under that slime, which is what we did. It's the Beano, it's what we meant to do, right? And that means Strictly. Digital, YouTube and Netflix have changed the face of TV viewing forever. Now, TV viewing is still thriving, just via a greater proliferation of devices and platforms. But kids do not distinguish between linear TV and YouTube or Netflix. Third of all, mobile. Universally, our core audience, that 6 to 12-year-old audience, has access to a mobile device. Our organic traffic is a 60-40 split of mobile versus desktop. Kids are on phones earlier and earlier and earlier. It used to be when they went to high school, that's when they'd get a phone. Right now, they're getting a hand-me-down iPhone 5S, you saw earlier, and that's what that is. I did my research when I got my photos. Normally with the SIM removed. So they're just on Wi-Fi at home, and then when they go out, they're relying on an offline experience with an app, maybe caching something. Sometimes these guys are tethering to their mum's phone or their dad's phone as well. So don't think this isn't a sophisticated audience. And indeed, they're not officially on social, but some of them are. We know they're on Instagram. We know they're on Snapchat. And anyone who has ever looked at Snapchat knows that's a dark art. You can't get the stats out of that. And there's a few of them in terms of Twitter, specialist publishing community. If they really like Little Mix, they really like Taylor Swift, they will go there and follow certain hashtags and @ signs. And a little bit of Facebook, but that's really for the olds, right? And then finally, sounding like every report you've been sent through into your inbox this week, video. Video is everything. Video is projected to claim over 80% of all web traffic by 2019, and our insight proves that out. In just 12 months, we've used our strategy to commit to producing 14 videos a week in-house out of our own editorial team. So you have that data and an awful lot more. What do you do with it? And again, I think trying echoing some of the presentations today, do something brilliant, be innovative, experiment, try something new. And that's a spirit that has led us in just over a year with a really lean setup. Remember, 50 people, and that includes HR and finance and all of the normal things. So in just over a year, promising audience number. Many people have visited the site more than we have expected to have done by this stage. And we just recently got a highly commended and a very nice chicken dinner at the 2017 Broadcast Awards. We've made over 2,000 pieces of content, 450 videos. We produce 30 quizzes or puzzles a month, countless listicles and articles, and over 16,000 drawing submissions through our Drawing Challenge app. So, what do you do? What's innovative? It's a few ideas. So number one, examples of some great content. React to trends and fast. Unicorns and rainbows, right? You can't go into Primark without finding those on a hoodie or finding them on a onesie. Move fast. That's a video about the new trend for unicorn food. Fantastic. But do it with your own tone of voice if you're going to react to a trend. I just showed this to someone and they thought it was Boris Johnson in a kind of bojo way. Does anyone know what that is? Not the who's wearing it. It's a Jojo bow? Yes? Is that what you're going to say? You wouldn't say that. Sorry, it's hard to see you. So a Jojo bow, very expensive for a very thin piece of material that makes your child look ridiculous, and massive last year, absolutely massive. But with a Beano, what we're going to do, just do a guide to buying a Jojo bow and some affiliate links that we're not allowed to embed in our site, right? No, we're going to stick it on Donald Trump. That went mental, and that went viral as well. Really, really happy to see that. But with Trump, it's an interesting one. At the top of our villains, things like Halloween, it's not, oh, I've heard about Pennywise the Clown from It. It is Donald Trump. These guys, our audience, they might be 6 to 12, but they know about Donald Trump. They know about Brexit. They know about Boris Johnson. And their job is to kind of take the mick So don't dumb down. Okay, we've got an animated GIF sticking sprouts in his face, but we're not going to dumb down and say, really, do kids really want to know about Donald Trump? Yes, they do. But then again, don't dumb down. Yeah, don't be too serious. So we're not The Week Junior, which is a fantastic publication. I'm a subscriber. I thoroughly recommend it. However, everyone likes a fail video, right? But a lot of those are trapped on YouTube. And what we do is we get the ones where we get permission and we run them as video on our site again. So nice snackable content to try and rile Jason up by saying that word. So what else? Play to your strengths as well. Hopefully this speaks to everyone here. What have you got that no one else has got? Now that could be part of your SEO strategy. No one else is going to be able to search for the numbskulls and have as much numbskulls content as I've got. I've got a brilliant archive up in Dundee full of that. So the first thing that I did when I joined the Beano is make sure that our comic viewer, first of all, credited the artist and the writer, because again, people are going to be searching Google for that, but also making sure that every image there was visible above the fold and that every image there has alt text as well. That's so important for your visibility to search. And engaging experiences all the time. That's our new game article, which takes a game that would normally be on an app, but we've embedded it on the site as well. It's a really good skateboarding game, playable for free. Getting people in that. And if you want dwell time, that's the kind of experience that you're going to have to deliver. Go to your audience, talk to them, find out what they want, and then give it to them. Don't give it to them where they play it in a little window. Make it go full screen. UX is absolutely key here. Interactivity, again. That's our Minecraft quiz. Other quizzes are available. I found out which member of Little Mix I was this morning. Perry, if anyone wants to know. It's good. You can see, right? It was probably the grey hair. But interactivity is absolutely key for our audience. One of the early lines we said at Beano Studios was that we were BuzzFeed for kids. And anyone who's gone on BuzzFeed has filled in about 7,000 quizzes. And we know that kids love doing that as well. Again, just reacting to that data. What do you like? And then making sure that we give them more of it. And that's what I mean by this. Segmentation. Be really obvious. When we started off, we were just like a mix of all like random things, animated GIFs flying all over the place. And kids, they don't mind clicking. They're not scared of clicking, but they need to know that they're going somewhere. So this is the drop-down nav from the new navigation bar. All really obvious. We search those channel names. Awesome people rather than celebs, because that's what our users call them, right? They don't really see any difference between Pogba and Zoella. They're just their friends on YouTube. So that's what we're trying to do. When we have segmentation like that and just breaking content down into channels, just by tagging, right, it seems really obvious. If you go onto the homepage before we had this segmentation, it was about 4 or 5 page views per session, all very nice. If you get them into a segment, you get them into a channel where they just want to know about apps and gaming or they just want to know about pranks, that page view per session number goes up to between 15 and 20, no matter what device you're on. It's fantastic, just by going in and looking at user journeys and talking to people. And above all, as I said earlier, video, video, video. I think I'd choose Zane, but I really like Harry as well. What do I do? This is the brand new player that we've got on the site. We just moved all of our video over to JW Player, which is really good, highly recommended. And this is a new video playlist that we have at the top of the homepage and every landing page on the site. Everything gets a bespoke feed of video. Again, just based on tagging, really simple, done by the editorial team. Now, we turned on autoplay here, and I know there's some issues around UX with mobile and autoplay on video. You would expect autoplay would send your video views up and your completion rate down. No, completion rate stayed pretty much the same. Kids love video. They're used to autoplay on YouTube. I'm not annoying anyone. I'm not giving them an experience that they're not getting anywhere else. Again, if that was the case and the stats came back and told me that people were turning off, I wouldn't do it. I can't burn that audience that quick. So, you can tell me what that is in a second. At Beano Studios, we ask readers what they want and we give it to them. But we sprinkle that with inspiration, a bit of gut feel. I'm from print publishing, it's all based on that. And hopefully a little bit of talent with fun. We're against the norm, subvert expectation. That's no different really to what we've been doing for 80 years. And next year will be our 80th and our biggest ever. We've got some mad plans. But by continually talking to our viewers, as well as our readers and our users, whatever channel they're on, we want to make it the best for both us and for the audience. So we've got big plans, which includes this. So, who knows what that is? I can't hear. Someone speak up. It's a Nasher badge. Where would you get that from, sir? You're in the Beano fan club, the Dennis the Menace fan club. There was a Minnie the Minx fan club as well for a little bit. These have got googly eyes. You can find them on eBay. It's quite easy to get them, but still with the googly eyes. Now, we will be introducing that for our 80th. That has such massive resonance. Cue the mad grumbling, right? But it also means it will be the introduction of registration on Beano.com, which really will enable us to learn a whole lot more about their readers because we will have parental permission, which is fantastic. However, the biggest thing we're currently doing will be coming to a screen near you a little bit sooner than that. It's Dennis and Nasher Unleashed. It's on CBBC from November. It's really good. I can say that. I've got millions of kids, and I sit and watch the load of rubbish sometimes that I have to watch because you do. It's really good. Here's a little taster. It's just gone up on the website, not put it on a presentation ever before. And I'll say thank you very much. Here we go.
Dennis is back!
Absolutely!
Brand new Dennis and Nasher Unleashed! Find out more at Beano.com.
Thank you very much.